Welcome to New Highland Elementary STEAM Night.
We are excited for our STEAM Showcase Night. We are talking with families. We are showcasing science, technology, engineering, art, and math all in one night. We get to showcase all of our students' artwork, all of our students' building experiments. We also have community partners coming in to do experiments with us. We have Blue Oval, we have Dow Chemical, we have Hardin County Waterworks, and we also have our very own Miss Martin, who's coming here right now, and they are going to do hands-on experiments with our students. Talk about what you're doing, Miss Martin.
I'm just going to talk about ways that families can incorporate science at home and do science experiments at home with just everyday stuff that they have.
Yeah. And then to end the night, we are also have Miss Smith, who graciously coordinated Kentucky Science Center to come in and talk about electricity. They are doing a hands-on experiment assembly show talking about electricity with our students.
We are super excited. We're so glad to offer this to our students and families. Just another awesome free family event to get us all together and increase learning and show that learning can be fun.
And that we are a true STEAM school and that our students love everything that encompasses STEAM.
Keep it fun and take care of it while you're doing these experiments.
So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take equal parts of our part A and our part B, and I'm going to mix them together. They're going to start reacting, and they're going to grow up into something just like that. You ready? Let's see how well I can measure this stuff out. Takes a little bit of pressure.
Basically, you just lay a little bead. And this is basically what the robot's doing here to see off this window.
Here's our second one. These are different colors, so we can make sure that we mix them together real nice. And then I'm just going to finish filling this cup up.
There you go.
And now we've mixed our white and our black. And now I've got about a minute and a half where I get to stir real fast here. And this stuff is going to change color. It's going to start turning gray. And here soon, once I get everything nice and evenly mixed, that's why we've got the paper towel there.
Your house, your windows, your bathtub, anything you can think of that
All right,
needs to be sealed with something like this. And so the way it starts.
All right, let me scrape this off real quick.
This is called a
And if you look closely, this stuff's going to start to bubble up. You can start to see a couple of bubbles starting to form. As we get more and more bubbles, this stuff's going to start to expand and get bigger and bigger, and it might even start to overflow this cup here. See how much bigger this is getting? How close it's getting to the top? I'll just set that over there for now. So this stuff, it's going to start off as this little rock. And we're going to do a lot to just crush it up into a bunch of little pieces. And we're going to heat it up a whole lot, melt it down, combine it with some wood and other things. Do a lot of processing, breaking it up, smashing it. And we're going to end up with a bunch of these weird gels. Some of them, they get pigments. We add colors to them. We can add whatever color you can think of, from magenta to green, yellows, orange, anything like that. And they just... In this case, they just keep on reacting. So have you seen, or do you know where our Dow site is? Maybe?
I don't think I've ever pointed it out.
Okay. Do you know where it is, though? So it's over on the south side of Elizabethtown, not very far away from here. And we make all sorts of stuff, from cartridges of sealants like that. Yep, it's starting to expand, get up over the top. And it's going to be speeding up here a little bit, and it's still going up. And yeah, one fun thing that I always find with this stuff is if you hold it up in the air and tap on the bottom of it, like you're beating a drum, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. It's very acoustic. But this stuff right here, what it does is you can take this and put it in between the walls in your house, and this stuff, it doesn't catch fire. And since it expands, it fills in any gaps that you miss inside your house, and makes it so we can have fireproof walls. Walls where fire can't go through if there is a building fire, things like that. And yeah, this is mostly cured now. It's almost there. One thing you might notice, this thing used to sit flat in one of these cups, but now this stuff, it's starting to adhere to the walls of this little cup, and then it's building up pressure. It's trying to expand, so it's made it so that this won't sit flat anymore. There's been enough pressure that it's pushed out the bottom of this thing. And yeah, that is how this part A and this part B turn into this. They release a little bit of heat, so this gets a bit warm, so we don't want you touching it too much, but it turns into that. Pretty cool, right? Yeah. And then Jared over here, he's got a bunch of other examples of things that we have.
And believe it or not, all of it comes from
You want to be an astronaut?
this.
That's what
Ooh, it all comes from that current. Hello.
Yeah, you're good. So we actually make it. You can feel it.
it's awesome.
So this is called silicone rock. And so silicones are kind of the business, basically. That's what we make everything out of. What we do with these rocks, we mine them out of the ground. We get them really, really hot, and then we crush them, and it turns into a liquid. So after a chemical reaction, this rock literally becomes a flowable liquid.
Isn't that weird?
That is so cool. They melt the rock.
Would you believe
Mommy,
it?
look!
And so there's a little bit more than just that, but that's kind of the base, the base ingredient, so to say, in our silicones. We mix it together with other things, and it becomes a sealant.
Silicone foam.
Which, you want to try the sealant gun? So this here, let me wipe this off right here.
Yeah, that's what this
So
stuff
basically,
does.
this is the cardboard.
These are the same thing. They're just
I'll get you a new one. You can actually stick it on top of there. It'll stick and seal. But if you grab this, you just want to keep it on the cardboard, and then just squeeze the handle here a few times, and you'll start feeling it kind of tension up against you.
What you can do is you end up with a part A and a part B.
Yep.
You'll end up
There you go. You got a little bit coming out. So then you just make a nice little bead.
between the walls and houses and buildings like that.
You want to make a smiley face with it?
So fire won't be able to pass it down. Things like that.
There you go.
Oh, Conrad, watch out. Pay attention. You can seal it on his hand.
Yeah, that's
Hey, well, it's still wet. You can wipe it off pretty easy. So, since once it cures, it's not so easy. That's kind of the point, though, right?
Yeah.
And there.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Just give it a good couple squeezes. You'll get a good amount coming out.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah, it's not easy, but this is what, if you have people come work on your house and stuff, you'll see these tubes, you'll see this. So like a lot of the stuff that you see at Lowe's and Home Depot, it may not say Dow on it, but it probably came from our factory.
So we're gonna see the dish soap will repel the pepper. So you're just gonna stick your finger in the dish soap and touch in the middle of the water. Nope, in the water.
Yeah.
So this is just oil and water. We all know oil and water don't mix.
Leave your paintbrush and you
We just colored the water so that you can see it a little bit better. Alka-Seltzer tabs.
I made it. It's going great, Emma.
Hey, will you go get
Anyone else want to paint in the dark? Okay, glow in the dark painting. Chris, you want to do glow in the dark painting? Come on
I
down.
want to watch this. That looks so cool.
All right, Chris.
What is it doing? It's making a tornado.
It's like a lava
Here you
lamp.
go.
It's a volcano.
All we did to make this was a cup of water, about 3 tablespoons of cornstarch, and the inside part of a highlighter, the guts of the highlighter, is all that's in this. All right, guys, you ready? All right, show me your papers. See where you can see where you drew it now? So it glows in the dark. All right, it's glowing. There you go.
I don't know why they moved the second one. I do not know when Miss Swift got these at.
Where is it? Right here.
I know you got one on, but I don't know how you got that one on.
What happened to my other? Oh, this is right here.
No, where is the
base.
No, I have yours. Oh, no, no, no. I was talking about these sticky
Open up my door to get
Oh,
before I get
the
back.
base. Okay. We have to put this on.
So this is a floodplain simulator, and what this is a wetland. Do you guys know what a wetland is? A wetland is a natural habitat that occurs in nature. There are many different kinds. They house a lot of different animal species in it. They allow absorption of a lot of water during storms, so they help prevent flooding. And they also help refill the groundwater, and they filter out pollutants that's occurring in the rain events. So how do you guys think that anything down here will be impacted when we cause this rain event to occur? So as you can see, the wetland absorbed all the rain that was just poured, that just came down on top of it. You're going to need to pour more.
It's still stalling.
And so once it holds enough water, it'll slowly start to let water out of the wetland. So, but there's nothing the city can do when people buy property and they want to develop it. So someone upstream of all these houses and this property down here bought it. You can finish stuffing it. And they want to build a development there. What's your all's favorite stores? Do you guys not have a favorite store that you like going to?
Yeah, I do.
You like going to Barnes & Noble?
I like going to the mall.
Okay. So this is a mall with a Barnes & Nobles in it, and it has a parking lot on it. So we replaced that pervious surface, which allowed all kinds of water to be absorbed into it, with an impervious parking lot. Do you guys think that it'll handle the same amount of water downstream? What do you think will happen down here?
I think it like fill up. I think this is up.
Yeah, it's going to flood. So as you can see, these houses are now flooded and they're washing away. These houses are now washing away. And this didn't hold any water at all because we replaced the wetland with blacktop and a building. So, do you guys know of any way that we can stop that from happening? Yeah, we could build them up on higher ground, but what about these houses that are already built? How are you going to protect those? Do you have an idea? Yeah, we could put a barrier up here. So now we've prevented the water from happening from this area. Another way that the city does it, though, is that when these plans come in, we make sure that they have a basin or some kind of control structure that limits the amount of water that's coming out downstream. So, and we require it to meet the same amount of water that's coming out of here. So you can see that our basin here took all the water that was going into it and it's slowly letting it out over time. And it's preventing all these houses from down here from flooding again. Yeah, and the barrier will help too if it gets up this high.
Me and your mom had to stop at a gas station today in order for our vehicles to run, right? Because if we don't, the car's going to run out of gas and we're going to be stuck on the side of the road walking, right? Which almost happened to me today. Yeah, it happens way too often to me. So, these, you never put gas in them because there's no engine, right? Normally cars would have an engine and all kinds of different things within here. But these just take a battery to run. So Blue Oval SK, we're going to be making batteries. Sorry I don't have my example, but they're about this big. They're called battery cells. And you put about, I can't remember how many, and these things called battery packs. The battery packs go into each one of these. This whole thing is called a battery module. So it depends on the size of the vehicle as to how many modules it needs and also how many packs it needs. So it could take 300 to 500 battery cells. And
Does it look different under the hood, the cars?
Well, EVs have what's called front trunks. So when you lift up the front hood, it's a trunk. And I've never looked in the back of a Mustang, a Mach-E. I would assume it's still a trunk.
You don't have to change the oil.
Nope. And actually, I got my oil changed this morning, so I was asking my mechanic all the dumb questions, right? Like the things I should know. And he said there are some motors that are within it that have to turn different things. But no, you don't have to change the oil. You know, there's obviously no exhaust system. The maintenance is pretty low on them. But it is evolving technology.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Captain Current. Now, I'm sure you've all already heard all about me, as my superpowers and heroic deeds are so well known. But in case you haven't, I am an electricity enthusiast. I use my superpowers to make sure that no electricity gets lost or wasted, and to spread the word about electricity conservation across the entire world. All right, what is your name, friend? Anaya, and what is your name? Abel. All right, Anaya and Abel are going to be some of the first of my official energy-saving cadets. Now, with great power comes great responsibility, or so I've heard in another copyrighted superhero movie, but we don't have to talk about that right now. So the first thing I'm going to need you to do is to give me your best superhero pose when I count down from 3. Do you think you can do that? All right, superhero pose. And 3, 2, 1, superhero pose. Nice. All right, now the second rule is to not do or touch anything until or unless Captain Current, that's me, tells you to. And the third rule is to follow all the rules that I've given you. Do you guys think you can do that? All right, if you'll follow me over here, I want one of you to stand on this side of this cart and the other one to stand right here. So what our friends are standing next to right now is my famed hand crank cart. And what this cart is going to do is demonstrate to us what happens in a power plant to give us our electricity. So I have these 2 hand cranks, and in just a little bit, our friends are going to turn these cranks as fast as they can. The physical energy that they're using is going to turn a generator that's inside of the cart and then produce electricity that we'll see on the screen right here. Your goal is to get the most amount of electricity as possible by turning the hand cranks as fast as you can. But there is a catch. Once you get the number up super high on the screen, you have to try and keep the same amount of energy to keep that amount of electricity up there. So it might get super, super high for about a second or so, but it's the number you end up actually maintaining that's going to matter the most. And while our friends are doing this, they're going to need a little bit of encouragement from you all. So they're going to turn the hand cranks in 3, 2, 1, go. $359. Keep going. Keep going. And stop. Are you guys tired? No? All right, you guys are pretty strong. So it looks like the highest number we were able to get on our cart was about 356 watts of electricity. Pretty impressive. That's enough electricity to power an Xbox for a whopping total of about 1 second, because that's how long it was on the screen. But the number they ended up maintaining the longest was actually closer to about 120 watts of electricity, which is enough energy to power a ceiling fan for more than 1 second. Now, we saw all of the effort our friends just used to generate that much electricity to power those kinds of appliances for only a couple of seconds. So can you imagine if you went to school one day and you accidentally left the light turned on in your room, and in order to keep that light turned on, you had to have 2 of your friends, like our friends here, sweating and cranking away all day long at a device like this just to keep 1 light bulb turned on? Would that be a very fair thing to do? No. So again, we need to be careful about how we're using our energy, because it already takes so much just to power a small thing like a light bulb. Let's give our friends a round of applause as they have a seat. All right, and what is your name?
Christopher.
All right, Christopher. Do you remember what we have to do? A superhero pose. You're so smart, Christopher. All right, count of 3, superhero pose. 3, 2, 1, superhero pose. Nice. All right, so what Christopher is going to do is help me demonstrate getting electricity from the power plant and making its journey all the way to my superhero lab. So we're going to start you off with this bucket of potential energy. Can you guys say potential energy? Our potential energy is energy that is stored up and ready to be used, which is different from kinetic energy. Can you say kinetic energy? Which is energy that is in motion. So we're going to pretend that this bucket of potential energy is actually coal. When coal is burned at the power plant, it then boils water, creating steam that turns the generators in the power plant, like our generator in our cart there. But when that heat boils the water to create steam, over half of the potential energy that we started out with is lost along the way. So to represent that, Christopher, I'm going to have you help me pour all of those energy orbs into this bucket, and we're going to see if it'll all fit. So if you'll grab that handle, and then we're just going to dump it all in like that. I feel like that was a lot of wasted energy. So now we have this bucket of our kinetic energy or our motion energy. But we need it to become our electricity for us to actually use. But when that happens again, even more energy gets lost. So again, Christopher, I'm going to need you to pour all of those energy orbs into this bucket. You got it? So we started with our potential energy. It then turned into our kinetic energy. And now it's actually our electricity, but it's still not done. Our electricity has to travel across far distances on wires before finally it makes its way to my superhero lab. So one last time, if you'll pour all of those into that bucket. And I'm gonna have you hold this up and face the audience. And we're gonna compare the two buckets. So we started off with this bucket of potential energy that is now empty. And we ended up with this bucket of actual energy in the form of our electricity. So over 70% of the energy we started out with was lost along the way. Can you imagine if that was food instead and about 70% of your lunch was gone before you even got to school? Would you be very happy about that? No. So if we try to save our energy, we'll be better off because we already lose so much of it as it makes its way to us in the form of electricity. Let's give our friend a round of applause. Thank you so much for your help. And this time we're going to be demonstrating two different types of electricity. Standard voltage, can we say standard voltage? And high voltage. Excellent. And what we're going to be testing here is which one of these forms of electricity is more efficient. Have you ever heard that word before? Efficient? Can you all say efficient? So what that means in this case is to do something while losing as little as possible. And what we want to see is which type of electricity, our standard voltage or our high voltage, is going to lose the least amount of energy. So again, we're going to use our smaller energy orbs here. And we're going to have them represent our standard voltage electricity. And how this will work is I will pass an orb to you, my friend. You'll pass it to the person next to you. And all the way down the line until our friend at the very end, you will drop it into that green bucket. Now, your goal is to pass these as fast as you can. If you drop any, that's okay. Don't try to pick it up. Just keep passing what's being handed to you. And you guys feel free to cheer them on again if you'd like. We're going to pass in standard voltage in 3, 2, go, go, go. Keep going, keep going. If you drop it, just keep passing it. Just keep going, just keep going. Friend, you seem like you're dropping a lot of energy orbs. Here, you take some. Here, here, here. All right, and stop. I think we lost a decent amount of energy there. Would you agree? Yeah. So do we think that our standard voltage is very efficient? No, because we lost a lot of energy, right? So how about this time, and you guys can just stand there, because we're about to do the other part of our demonstration. We're going to instead test out our high voltage energy and see if that turns out a little bit better. So we're going to use these energy orbs instead. And you guys line up shoulder to shoulder again. And this is going to represent our high voltage. So, same rules. I'll pass it to you, and you guys are going to pass it down the line until our friend at the end drops it in the bucket. Are you ready? And go. All right. That seemed to go a lot smoother that time, didn't it? Did we lose as much energy? So do we think our high voltage is more efficient? Yes, because we didn't lose as much energy passing it as we did with our standard voltage. And so that's why we use high voltage electricity to get the electricity that we use in our homes. Let's give our friends a round of applause as they have a seat. Thank you.
Thank you all for coming. We hope you enjoyed the show. We really enjoyed seeing our Bullpup families tonight and being able to offer such a wonderful STEAM experience for them.